Hey y'all, welcome back. It's Katy, art director from Boys and Girls Clubs of Dorchester. Today we're gonna make a DIY Play-Doh at home with just a few ingredients that we can find in our kitchen. For this salt dough recipe, all we need is flour, salt, and water. So we wanna grab a bowl that you can mix in, a measuring cup. I'm using a 1/4 of a cup measuring cup and a 1/2 cup measuring cup, and something to mix with. So I'm just using a spoon. All right, so once we grab all of our materials, we're ready to get started. This is a recipe that's gonna be enough to make one batch, but if you wanna make more, or if you have siblings that you wanna make enough Play-Doh for, you can double this recipe, you can quadruple this recipe, just do a little bit of simple math. But for this, I'm using a 1/2 cup of flour, a 1/4 of a cup of salt, and a 1/4 of a cup of water. So I'm gonna start by just putting my 1/2 cup of flour in my bowl. So I started with a 1/2 cup of flour in my bowl. And then I'm gonna measure out a 1/4 of a cup of salt. So a 1/4 of a cup of salt. So you want half as much salt as you have flour. And then I'm just gonna pour that in. And then I'm gonna mix that together, the salt and the flour, just a little bit before I add my water. I just wanna try to combine these. That way when I mix the water in, the salt and the flour are already mixed together. Then I'm gonna slowly mix in a 1/4 of a cup of water. I'm just gonna mix it with my spoon until it's all combined. And you'll notice it becomes the consistency of dough. Make sure you mix it really good and you get all the dry flour off the edge of your bowl. And then you should have a doughy consistency, just like this. So you might want to add a little bit more flour to it when you're playing with it, because it does get a little bit sticky, but if you add a little bit more flour, or if you add flour to your hands, it won't stick to your hands like this. And once you're done with your salt dough, you can do a lot of cool projects with it. You can create ornaments by using cookie cutters and then sticking a straw through to create a hole that you can then tie a ribbon into. You can also do handprints. You could roll it out flat with a rolling pin and then press your hand down into it. That way you have a memento of your hand at the age that you are. There's lots of different things that you can do with your salt dough. So make sure, as always, that you guys send us pictures of your finished product, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys again for a lot of fun programs that we have coming up soon. Bye!